Subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. Hi there, this is the lecture 1.2 of the Python Crash Course. We are going to learn what is remaining in this Python Crash Course. Firstly, we are going to learn about comparison operators. Comparison operators, what kind of comparison operators we can do. So for operators we have greater than, less than, greater than, equals to, less than, equals to operators like that. And if you want to perform this operator to do some comparison between anything, suppose if you want to compare between a number is 1 is greater than 2, if you execute it, the statement will be false. Again, if we try to execute, if 1 is less than 2, then it is true statement. Similarly, if you try to execute 1 is greater than, equals to, again 1, this output will be true. This is the different types of operators we have. Moving ahead on logic operators, we have two different types of logics, and or. If we try to execute, suppose 1 is greater than 2, we will put it under bracket, and 2 is less than 3. If we try to execute it, this statement will be false. Now suppose what is happening over here, we can see that 1 and 2, where 1 is not greater than 2, so the output will be false, and when 2 is less than 3, that means there the output is true, and if we combine with AND statement, it is 0 and 1. So in AND condition, the output will be high only if there will be 1 in both cases. So here the output is false. Now again, if we try to execute 1, same statement, but we will do one correction over there. If we try to change it by this, here we have both as true statement, and if we try to execute, it will be true as an output. So if we try to do one for this also, same for the first condition, if we try to separate it with OR, that means there we will have output as true. Okay, and if we try to execute, let us take another example for OR. That will be 1, it will check either equals to, or taking 2, 3, again OR, and here we will enter one correct statement, that is 4 is equals to 4. So this is false, this is false, means first part is false, second part is false. Now the third part coming on 4 equals to 4, here it is, the output is 1, so we have output as true. If elif and else statement, in that if suppose we will take any comparison operator, 1 is less than 2, and we will have a colon, then we can see indent over spacing over here, and if you want to print over there 2 is greater. Okay, and we can see over here that if 1 is less than 2 is true, so it will going to print 2 is greater. 2 is greater. Suppose if one is greater than 2, print first, again enter, and we will do, we will write else, and we can print second. Okay, so considering this statement, 1 is less than 2 is true, so it will going to have print first. Okay, it is easy. Okay, if we change this sign over here, so it will going to print second. Now coming up on the another example, that will be if 1 is equals to 2, print first, else print last. Okay, if you want to try to add else if statement, elif 3 is equals to 3 colon print middle. So here we can see that first statement is false, second statement this one is true, so it will going to print middle. Okay, if we try to execute this, we have output as middle. So now moving ahead on for loops, if take it, suppose we create a list that will be 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, so we have sequence equals to this 1 to 7. Now for item in SEQ, we will have column print in bracket, it will be item, so it will going to print all the value in the list. And now if we try to move ahead, and if we will have same for item in sequence, print Amit, we will have 7 time Amit will be get printed in the output. We can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 and 7. Now moving ahead, if we want to do some tricky things, suppose we will copy this and paste over here. Now this item we can change by anything. for x, y, z, print x, y, z, we will have the output. Now if we want to do add everything by its own number x, y, z, we will see the output as f1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 2 4, 3 plus 3 6, and likewise. Okay, moving ahead on while loops. What is while loops? While loops, suppose I equals to 1. Okay, now we will take while I is less than 5, means we have to see I up to 5, less than 5, and then we are going to print what? We are going to print I is, and this we will use format condition. We will have curly braces over here, and after that dot format, we will have I, and then what we will do, we will increase I equals to I plus 1. Okay, if we'll try to execute it, then what we can see, it is executing for I. Firstly it is going to check, firstly I equals to 1, so I is less than 1. Now what he is going to do, I is 1, it will print, then it will increment I by 1. Now what is the value of I? It is 2, so it will print the value of 2, and again it will reach over here, and again he will increment I by 1. Now again it will move ahead on I is 3 and it is lesser than 5, so it will going to print the value of I as 3. Again it will move ahead by incrementing 1, and the value of I will be 4, and after that it will going to print again for I is 4. Now coming on 5, where 5 is not less than 5, as it is equal to 5, so it will not execute from 5. So what is range? Range, simple. If we will do range, use bracket, and if we press 5, it is going to show output that it is from 0 to 5. Now if you want to see it, we can simply just write list and range 5 and print it. We can see it is from 0 1 2 3 4. If we want for I in range 5, print I, so it is going to print the value from 0 to 4, all in count of 5. So we can see this is 1 2 3 4 5. The value is from 0 to 4. Now moving ahead on list comprehension. So what is list comprehension? List comprehension, suppose we create a list that is from 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, now suppose if we want taken output out is, and we will create empty list. And now what we will do for item in X, what we are calling this X over here to here. Okay, now what we will do, output out dot, we will use one important application of append what item, and we will do square of every item, and then what we are going to print the output. Now for every value, suppose here it is 1, 2, 3 and 4, what it will do, it will square each item. That means for 1 it will be 1, for 2 it will be 4, for 3 it will be 9, and for 4 it will be 16. So if you try to run it, the output you can see. So now moving ahead, one of the most important topic of the Python, that is function. Okay, for defining a function we use def, and we use my func. You can see the color change over here, you can see my func. Okay, now func, and we can run as any parameter, okay, anything. And what we will do, we will colon, and we will print what is parameter. Okay, if we try to execute it, here my function is defined. If we want to see my function, we can see function is my main, which is defined over my func parameter. Suppose we define a function that is square of any number x. Okay, and what we are going to return as x, we have a square of every number. Now if we will run it, we don't see an output. For output, what we have to do, we have to do s square. Okay, and we can write over here 3. Now it will give an output as 9. Okay, now you can do what 113 out equals to, suppose we copy paste that. Now our output is of square 3 is saved to out, so we have to call out over here, it is 9. Okay, hope you understood.